Finger from Percy. It's Wednesday night. It's podcast night. We've got a returning guest, very special one. Mom is back. Yay. And we chose music from 1965 for this week because my birthday is actually on Friday and I was born in 1965. So I look for reasons to get my mom on here so we can pick at her a little bit and just have fun. And actually, my Aunt Betsy, which is mom number two, texted me her top five. And I hope she'll be listening to this tonight or sometime during later in the week. So we're doing music from 1965, and surprisingly, it's a pretty good year for music. What do you think,
It
Chris?
was a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Very diverse.
Yeah, and it was extremely diverse.
Yes, indeed.
So it just depends on where you fall on your diversity needle, if you will. What do you gravitate toward? What kind of music? And it'll be interesting to see what everybody actually picked tonight because I've been racking my brains. I'm like, I figure I can probably pinpoint maybe a couple of Percy's. Have no idea about yours, Mom. And Aunt Betsy's got a pretty good list. And Wilkie's here on picks. He's going to chime in if he feels the urge to do. We always encourage that. And my beautiful wife, Amanda, is in the green room. We won't call it the Loser's Lounge with her in it. It's a beautiful green room, and she's come just to check it out and give us all some love and support. So, with that being said, let's thank our sponsors, Spicy Smokehouse Crackers. Lynn was gracious enough to bring Mom and Aunt Betsy a couple of goodie bags.
Excited about that.
Very
That's
nice.
cool, too.
Yep, and we'll make sure Aunt Betsy, you get that. And I tell you, if you see them in the store, buy them, you'll buy them again.
They're very good.
Yes. Also, want to thank our sponsor, Busted Oak Bourbon Society. We are having a birthday party Friday night. Doug and I share the same birthday. He is older than me, just about 3 years, So, but it should be a good time. Y'all come on out. It's going to be fun. Charlie Argo's playing that night, so it should be a good time. And last but certainly not least, Brindley's Family Pharmacy, where they do a great job locally, and they're very involved in the community. So
They certainly are. They're really good folks.
yeah, they are. Absolutely. So with all that being said, music from 1965 with my mom, the mother of the podcast.
Yes.
Sylvia Gentry. All right, Percy, kick us off, son.
First of all, I got a few facts here,
Uh-oh.
and I hope I don't take none of Mother's facts.
Got something,
But-
Percy.
There was a restaurant that was founded in 1965, and it was TGI Fridays. And a famous food was introduced in 65, SpaghettiOs.
Oh, that we pretty much screwed up on spaghetti.
It's a staple.
So mom wouldn't cook for us. So they would go to grocery stores and buy canned goods, and we ate a lot of processed foods.
But she cooks for me.
But she
and I
cooks for
appreciate
Percy
that.
now.
Well, it was the times. We lived on Campbell's soup.
And SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was lunch. I did cook dinner.
Let's just skip that. What else?
I'll speak to you later.
It was also the year that Bob Dylan went electric.
That is huge. When Dylan went electric,
Uh,
it was at that folk festival.
And I didn't know this, but September the 9th of that year, Hurricane Betsy hit New Orleans.
What? How ironic! Listen, you were a hurricane in 1965, and I have some pictures to prove that too. There's one on my first birthday where you're trying to get me to walk, holding the cake in front of me, and Betsy's behind me, shoving me, and Uncle Billy is laughing at, like, look at the little fat kid trying to walk. So, but that'll make social media at some point this week.
Love that.
Yeah, cool.
Love that.
Got any more fun facts?
One more.
Okay.
And I've been to one of these places, I've been to both of these places. The St. Louis Arch and the Astrodome were completed in
1965, the Astrodome.
Astrodome opened, and I've been to both of those.
Yeah, I have been to Astrodome, and and I've been to the Arch. I went up in the Arch. Man, when I went, I mean, it wasn't as clean it wasn't as nice as they said it was. It was pretty dirty.
No,
Actually.
it was when I went.
You have to go up there to get in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're now to my honorable mention.
All right, let's do it.
My first honorable mention has actually been used once before. I think maybe when we did the water episode.
It's been a while.
And it's one of my favorite country songs. And it's a song by a man named Warner Mack. And it's The Bridge Washed Out.
Have never heard this song in my life. Wilkie, do you know this one? Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, Wilkie knows that. I know. The bridge washed out,
Bridge
and I
washed
can't
out?
swim, and my baby's on the other side.
Oh, wow.
And my next honorable mention is a lot of my dad's influence, and we had this talk with him when he was on. He got to see Billy Joel Royal
Yeah,
in Georgia, and it's down in the boondocks.
it's a good song. That's a great song.
And he was one of those people that kind of had a hiatus and found their a country career later on.
Yeah,
And it was probably close to 20 years.
Yeah.
And he found a really good country career.
yeah, he did.
He's kind of fuzzy duck all the time.
No kidding. Boy, I hadn't heard those stories. It's been a long time. Remember Fuzzy Duck? I think we remember Fuzzy Duck, Mom? No,
Where's the fuzzy nut?
never mind. Yeah.
My last honorable mention is Amanda. I hope you're listening. My last honorable mention is "It Takes a Lot to Laugh. It Takes a Train to Cry" by Bob Dylan.
Ah, got you Dylan on there.
And I'm not a fan of Bob singing a bunch of his songs, but this one fits him, and I love his harmonica in this version of his. And I actually learned this song through a band that covered it.
Okay.
And we'll get to that later on.
All right. Way to kick us off, son. All right, Mom.
Okay.
Your honorable mentions.
Okay. Here we go.
Here you go. So get up on the mic there.
The first one is Crying in the Chapel by Elvis, which is a lovely song.
It's a great song.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then What the World Needs Now is Love's Sweet Love by Jackie DeShannon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
lots of it. More so probably than ever.
You got it.
But 65, it was sort of a tumultuous time.
Very much.
Yeah.
That was the Vietnam era.
Hmm.
You know, that was the year your dad graduated from college.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
That was the year they started sending people to Vietnam.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
My
What's your last?
third one, and I love this. It's a fun song. Hang on, Sloopy. Sloopy.
That's a great.
I remember that song from a infomercial when I was a kid, where they were selling. I guess at the time it was cassettes,
Yeah.
and it would have "Hang
Hang
On
on, Sloopy.
Sloopy" on it.
Yeah.
Well, the late great Rick Derringer just passed away last week.
He sure did. That's right. What you got, Mom?
Yeah. Which his music was great for me because my parents played it when I was growing up.
Right.
So I'm all about this. But I got, of course, you know this one. It's by Dale Reeves. It's The Girl on the Billboard. It's a country
I
song.
don't know that.
Wearing nothing.
Well, and I've got Fifth Diamond Ring by Gary Lewis and the
Yeah,
Players.
that's a great. That's a super song.
And I had Down the Boondocks with
Down
Billy
the
Joel.
Boondocks. All right, cool. Very good. We're getting pictures made. All right, my honorable mentions. All right, get ready to hang on here. Because, Mom, I've been loving you too long by Otis Redding.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it. Otis is Otis, my man. Otis is the man. So, voice everything Otis Redding, I'm all about. My next one is by a guy who has recorded at Muscle Shoals. And he did some famous recordings at Muscle Shoals. Percy, I'm not sure if he recorded this there, but it's In the Midnight Hour. I don't know if they did that at the Shoals. I don't
That
think.
was that.
I think that was probably
Yep.
this.
Yeah, that was before.
Yeah, probably so. My last one, I'm so proud of this one. It's Goldfinger, Shirley Bassey. The James Bond movie came out in 1965, and growing up, I was a big fan of James Bond movies. This wasn't his first one. Dr. No was the first one, but this was my favorite James Bond movie, and I loved the Sean Connery James Bonds. So that just sparked a great memory for me personally. And I remember when we were living in Athens, Georgia. I was probably in fifth, sixth, seventh grade. I was there from the third and seventh. ABC had like Saturday night movies, and every now and then they put a James Bond movie on, and we would beg y'all for us to stay up late and watch all of it. And we kicked Bob to bed, but me and Janet got to stay up and watch it. So good times. Those are my honorable mentions. And now we're at top fives, and I'm going to include Aunt Betsy's list on this as well. Uh, so anyway, that's mom number two to me, and love her dearly, and she's got some good selections. But let's kick off with Percy's number five.
Number 5 for me was a great rock band that just was in the infant stages, and it's The Who singing "I Can't Explain."
I knew you would have it here. It's a great song too. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of bands that were in
They
infancy.
yeah, they were emerging in '65. I mean, the Stones were in their early years as well. Yeah. All right, what's your number five, Mom?
The Tracks of My Tears.
Smokey Robinson. There it goes.
Yeah.
Great. That's been used in a ton of movies as well. Yeah, great song. All right. Well, you got a five selection?
You done said it, but in the midnight hour.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to miss that one, man. You know it's right away when it comes on. You already get loose. All right, Aunt Betsy's number five, and this is a great one. It's "Stop in the Name of Love" by the Supremes. And that was before it was Diana Ross and the Supremes. Diana was still a part of the Supremes, but she didn't get the lead ticket on that back in '65. And there were fights with her and Mary Wilson, and Mary Wilson was actually the better singer of the Supremes. But I guess Diana Ross had something going with Barry Gordon at Motown Records, and she got the lead on that. Saying she did anything wrong, but I think that relationship got her the lead part. So number five, Amanda will be proud of this one too. She actually threatened me if I didn't keep it on my list because it made my original docket. And it's a Bob Dylan song, and I'm going with "Positively Fourth Street," which I've always loved that song, and she has converted me over the years to be a Dylan fan of his vocals even. So you just got to get in the right frame of mind, I guess. All right, Percy, we're at number four. What's your number four?
Number 4 for me is a cover that this band did, and we just mentioned that the Stones were in their infancy.
Yeah.
And this song was released in the UK in '64, but in the US in '65.
So it's legit.
And it's the Rolling Stones cover of Howlin' Wolf's "Little Red Rooster."
That's a great song, man. I'm sure. I know you've heard it live too. They do that. The live recording of that's really awesome.
So many people have recorded that song.
Yeah, that's that. They
Stones,
way back.
The Dead, everybody have. And it's like "Little Red Rooster" was kind of your blues way to go.
Cool, good choice. All right, Mom.
Mine is a fun song.
Okay.
Love Potion number 9. I love Lurcher. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, what else was going on in 1965 in your world?
Well, your dad graduated from college.
Yeah, University of North Carolina.
Yes.
Go Tar Heels.
He got a job, his first job.
With Kendall.
Yes, we moved to Newberry, South Carolina.
Yeah. So before I was in the third grade, we had moved like 7 times.
Well, we lived in 2 different houses in Newberry.
I'm just talking cities.
Okay, all right. Probably so.
Yeah, it was a bunch.
It was a lot. He was a management trainee, which we knew you would go to various cities and learn different things.
Yeah.
I knew that getting on.
Yeah. It all worked out too. All right. You got one, Will?
I have "All Day and All the Night" by the Kinks.
That's a great one. It's a great one. They might make the list, somebody else's list again. All right. Aunt Betsy's number 4. It's a great song. It's a great group. And you and Dad loved playing this duo all the time. You had a few of their albums, and it's "The Sounds of Silence" by Simon and
I'm
Garfunkel.
so glad she did that.
Yeah.
I love
Glad
that
that
song.
made the list. All right. Number 4, and this is from Bryant Long, and it's funny because it's a song by the Kinks. But I'm going with "A Well-Respected Man." Bryant, for some reason, every time that comes on, do you, Percy? That should be his theme song.
I always think of Mr. Long with "You Keeping Me Waiting."
That's the good stuff. All right, we're in nitty gritty already. What's number 3 for you?
Number three for me is these two groups were kind of like they were R&B, but when I was a kid, it's like you took the Beatles or you took the Stones.
That was a fact.
You kind of pick one. And I kind of got the same sense with these two groups. You either pick the Temptations or you pick the Four Tops.
That's right.
And I took the Four Tops. And I'm going with the same old song.
A great choice. And that's so true. You're either a Four Tops guy or a Temptations person back then. And I always sort of leaned to the Four Tops too. And then I ended up going, when I went to college, Levi Stubbs, the lead singer of the Four Tops, his son, Levi Stubbs Jr., went to Jacksonville State University and was on a baseball scholarship.
Temptations lead singer from Alabama too.
That's right. He's from
Eddie
Alabama.
Hill.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, Mom, what's your number three?
It's been mentioned before, but still a great song. Stop in the Name of Love.
Yeah.
The Supremes.
I had a friend had a small daughter, and sort of like Lauren, she always thought it said "stop in my neighborhood," just like Lauren used to think the age of Aquarius was the age of asparagus. And this other girl too. This is a funny story. Remember Cher, who Sonny and Cher had in 1965, but when Cher did Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, she thought they said gypsies and chimpanzees. And then there was that line where it would say every night all the men would come around and lay the money down. She thought it said every night all the men would come around and lay the money.
Well, great story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wilkie, is it you, Mom?
No,
All right. Wilkie, what's your three?
mine's the same as Percy's. It's the same old song.
Wow, man, you guys are drinking from the same well tonight. All right. Aunt Betsy picked "Do You Believe in Loving Spoonful"?
That's a great.
That's a super song.
Mhm.
And my number three is that's a powerful love song, slow dance song. It's been in movies. It's Unchained Melody, the Righteous Brothers.
Beautiful song.
Gosh, just one of the prettiest songs ever performed. And those guys doing that Blue-Eyed Soul was pretty darn special back then. All right, we're down to number two. Chrissy, what you got?
Number two was a great year for this gentleman. And everybody listening needs to know that your wife, Amanda, gave me one of his albums that she picked up.
Aw,
And probably haunt you to this day. But my number one is Buck Owens' first number one hit, Before You Go.
It's a good one.
And that album, it was not on that album, but the album that she bought me was I've Got a Tiger by the Tail.
remember?
We had it with the single, I think, 1964. Already made my list.
And that was
Aggravates you.
his best album.
He did good.
I think he had like 2 albums in '65, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And there he is. Right there.
Yeah, I love it.
Right. Chrissy personally put him right there to give me the stink eye.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
What's number two for you, Mom?
Goldfinger by Carl Bassett.
I love it.
I do too.
If someone had a theme, some theme music for entering the room, I want it to be Goldfinger. Dun, dun, dun.
And the trumpet, I guess,
It was just
was
clapping great.
She did such a great job with that song.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful movie. You
Yeah,
know?
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
You have Goldfinger. Bon Job.
Still want one of those hats where you can just have them on your head.
Looking up Polo and yeah, stuff on the statue head off with
Yeah.
That's me.
Random cut.
Yeah.
Wasn't the plot something that kind of robbed Fortnite?
We're gonna rob Fortnite. Yeah. I mean, the man was that's what gold.
Had to buy
Yes.
it.
And he would paint his dead bodies with gold paint.
Mhm.
Remember that? Okay. What you got, Wilkie?
Mine is, you talked a little bit about Kansas, but this was from Ecclesiastes as well. It's the birds. And they turn.
That's a great song.
I love
figured
that
so.
song.
I just always love that song.
I love that song. That's one of my favorite books in the Bible.
It's a great book.
Some of the
Absolutely.
language is so beautiful.
That's great.
Ecclesiastes 3:11, wasn't it, when it started?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right, Aunt Betsy. Apparently, she went to the other side. She picked the Temptations, not the Four Tops there, but it's still great. I still love the Temps too. And she went with My Girl, and she is one of my girls.
You remember, Percy, back in the day when Mark and Brian had a song called My Bow?
Yeah, I mean,
Bo Jackson.
All right, my number two, and clearly I think this is one of the prettiest songs ever, and it's by the Mamas and the Papas, and I'm going with California Dreaming. It's
I
been a bunch of,
love the
yeah,
Mamas and the Papas.
yeah, great harmony. I don't care who you are, man. That never met anybody that said, "Man, I don't like that song."
Mm-mm.
I saw a video today on Facebook of that song with Michelle Phillips eating a
Yeah.
banana.
She was
Like
there.
they wanted to lip sync. She just ate a banana while they was singing.
Wow,
That was on TV show. I forgot what it was.
wow.
It is.
I've seen that.
It's
All right.
fun.
Moment of truth. We're already down to number one. Percy, what's your number one?
My number one is my favorite song from this band, and it's from the Yardbirds.
I knew you'd pick the
Mhm.
Yardbirds.
I did
You did too, didn't you, Whoopi?
And it was released in March of '65, and it was the first single after Jeff Beck replaced Eric Clapton, and it's Heart Full of Soul.
It's a good choice, man.
You know, the Yardbirds wanted Jimmy Page, and Jimmy Page was like, "No, I got a good thing going with this jingle writing that I'm doing right now. Why don't you go get Jeff Beck?"
Crazy. That was crazy, but Jimmy finally came on.
He did.
He did.
I
Oh,
guess the jingle writing kind of dried up.
that. So, what kind of jingles he wrote? We'll have to dive into
Think
that.
of the three guitar player that was in the Yardbird.
Beck, Page,
Clapton. I mean, you got
and Gracious.
Goodness.
They all were really. That was a good starting point. If you played lead guitar back then, it was a gig with the.
I was watching something on Access the other day, and they said Clapton left because they was kind of want to go more in a poppy direction.
Clapton left because they recorded For Your Love.
They,
And I like it, and I love Clapton, but he got all pissy and left and went to join John Mayall.
Yeah.
But it's like all through his career in the '70s was pop infested.
I know.
I'm leaving
So
y'all.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, he did throw some blues songs on those albums, but it was pretty much pop infested.
he did. When he went solo, pretty much, then he went very pop.
Yeah, through the '70s it
But
was.
I
Yeah.
think he probably figured out along the way that I could make a little more money if I get a top 40 hit.
yeah.
You know, so he churned some out too. He sure did. Number one for you.
Number one for me. Ferry Across the Mersey by Gary and the Pacemakers.
Wow.
That's off the wall.
Does anybody know that song?
I do.
Do you want me to?
No. Oh, go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Right, long song.
Absolutely.
You know, it's got that little folk music thing about it.
Yeah, I know that you guys sure
Yeah.
that was a thing back then. Y'all were really
Yeah.
into folk music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilkie, you got number one selection?
I do. This one kind of. My dad was in Vietnam, so this song kind of hits me a little bit. Is by the Animals. We got to get out of this place.
Man, that's such a great song.
Every first time I've heard it, I love it. And Daddy's talking about let's listen to it in Vietnam.
I bet
so.
they did. I bet they did. It was in
Well, and
several Vietnam
it
movies.
was
too.
weird that movie. I mean, that song came out really before the height of Vietnam, but it became like a
Anthem
their
almost.
ad.
For sure.
There's also another song about Vietnam that I'd never heard that Adam Nelson told me about at work today, and it escapes me at the moment, but it's going to be on the playlist because his dad was in Vietnam.
Did I say another? I think it's called the Vietnam song.
I think he was, and yeah.
Yes,
It's the
that's it.
Vietnam song. That's
Yeah.
the one he was telling me about. I just never heard this song before. So it's going to be on the playlist.
And by the way, this playlist is going to be a lot of fun to listen to, and it will be available sometime tomorrow, and it'll go on Apple Music.
And I was a little liberal this week with the playlist. If a song was come out in '64 and was on the charts in '65,
I think that's
I
great.
just put it on there. I just didn't pick it on my list.
Yeah. I really did try, and I think we all did, to verify that 65 was the number, but we're all good. If it came out in 64 but hit the charts in 65, it's still a 1965 song, man. It charted for sure.
Mm.
All right, Aunt Betsy's number one, Sam Cooke. And what a great voice. And it's What a Wonderful World This Would Be.
That's just Betsy.
That is absolutely
Always
100%.
looking on the right side.
All right, I got the show stealer for me, and it is definitely my favorite song of 1965. And it's by a man named Mel Carter, and it's "Hold Me Thrill Me, Kiss Me.
Beautiful
So
song.
yeah, it's great, and it was in a couple of movies. It was when we were soldiers, before
Yeah.
they were getting ready to fly off to Vietnam, to like the Da Nang Valley or whatever that was, and they had like an officers party that night, and some guy came up and sung it, and I was like, man, I forgot how great that song was. So, do we have a Percy's pick this week?
We do, and it's a cover of a song that was on my list, and it's the Grateful Dead's version of it. Takes a lot to laugh. It takes a train to cry. The cover of the Bob Dylan song.
That's great. All right, that satisfies a lot of stuff right there. Next week we got Matt Colvin coming back on, and we're gonna do Bob
Such a
Marley.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got, Mom?
Some fun facts.
Yeah, let's hear 'em. Yeah.
A Ford F-150 basic Ford sold for $2,375.
Yep.
A Ford Mustang was $2,427. That little Chevrolet station wagon that we bought in 1965.
Yeah, that's the one with the cigarette lighter burned my hand, and we used to make Bob sleep in the back on top of all the luggage, slam the brakes, and throw him into the
No,
back seat
no,
on
I didn't want
purpose.
to around, but we had that one.
Not in '65, but we had a second one, that Malibu Classic.
Yeah.
Had the wood grain paneling
Yeah,
on
that
it.
was uptown.
Yeah, it had a
Okay.
V8. It would fly.
Do you remember that? Buick we had the what?
Oh yeah, the Bobcat.
Why in the hell did you take the video?
And V8 Ford there. That would move, Jim. That was great.
Well, we had that Opel Cadet, which you probably don't remember. It was
Not
orange.
I can see.
It was.
You don't remember a lot, did you? We all beat me a lot.
And we did. Anyhow, come on. Mama cried.
Yeah, well,
We stopped at $2,500.
crazy.
I know, it's just ridiculous. A dozen eggs was 53 cents. A gallon of milk was 31 cents. A pound of sirloin was 85 cents. And the movies. Sound of Music was big.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder Road.
Yeah, Robert Mitchum.
Yeah, great movie. That was the beginning of stock car racing, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah, it was at the start. Yeah.
In North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Zhivago.
Wow.
And your dad's favorite, In Harm's Way.
He loved that John Wayne,
Yeah.
didn't he? That thing was about like 5 hours long. It was like the longest movie. But
Yeah. It was black and white.
all right. Yeah, it was black and white, definitely. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, cool.
We'll come up with another reason to have you back on. We all love you here, and
Well, thanks. It was a fun little journey for me.
Yeah,
Sort of
it's
walk
always
through
fun.
past.
and thanks and love to Aunt Betsy. We've got a goodie basket, a goodie bag coming your way from Spice and Smokehouse Crackers. They've done very nicely and much appreciated. And love to all, and thanks for everybody. And Amanda, thanks for coming. All I gotta say is bye bye.